The Ministry of Information and Civic Education inside a weekly press conference where it happened, outside and invite different stakeholders them for provide updates to the public about them work. Inside the Tuesday, July 9 edition of the weekly press conference where the ministry be hold with journalists them, the Director of Public Prosecutions, Osman Kanu ESQ, first start to explain but waiting lead to the Auditor-General, Lara Taylor-Pearce and in Deputy Tamba Momoh, then suspension.
The Auditor-General and in Deputy in November 2021, they suspend them for stated misconduct. What is stated misconduct? The Constitution make provision for certain behaviors that way now you employers, and in this case, the president, where as a professional, where you actually not live up to, they can actually cite you for that behavior as a stated misconduct. But given the position of the Auditor-General, in the protection where the Constitution accord to the Auditor-General, if you go under Section 119 of the Constitution, you cannot now discipline or remove the Auditor-General without invoking Section 137 of the Constitution. Now, some people might ask, why do you need to invoke Section 137 of the Constitution, given the fact that the Auditor-General is just a public officer and not a judge? But my conclusion with that will only be the kind of the independence where the Constitution won't give to the Auditor-General. Because obviously removing a judge is not as easy when you actually look at the Tribunal way 137, they actually set up for letting you remove them. So that's kind of the protection that has been given to the Auditor-General.
For no waiting make the Tribunal committee be delayed for do their work, Osman Kanu ESQ be get this for say.
When a tribunal makes a judgment has the force of a high court judgment. But the tribunal in actually reaching their decision sometimes takes longer because it's an inquiry process. Sometimes even after when the lawyers they don't finish their own submissions, the members of the tribunal are at liberty for ask more questions, probing questions, because it's like an inquisitorial system. In other words, the tribunal, they get power for ask questions. Inquisitorial say the tribunal, and then they ask questions. What we have in Sierra Leone is an adversarial system where lawyers argue, and obviously the judge will rule. And the judge is just there to maintain the balance. But a tribunal is more of an inquiry process, so it takes a lot longer. So the 3 months that they were referring to, it's unfortunate. It's a lack of understanding of what's the position of a tribunal. So at the end of the day, we all learn, because at the end of the day, we don't have a monopoly of knowledge.
After where the tribunal don't end them work, waiting at some of the things them where they inside the recommendations, Osman Kanu ESQ explained.
The recommendation was made, for the Auditor-General to be removed from office, and that recommendation was submitted to His Excellency the President, and obviously for the Deputy Director General, Auditor-General, for reference to be made to the board of the Audit Service Sierra Leone, because they are the body, and then get power for actually remove the Deputy Auditor General. Whilst, like I said earlier on, the Section 137 now bringing the Auditor General under the judges' then removal. So only Parliament, in actual fact, it's only Parliament can decide on her removal. It's not the President.
Inside in your talk, the President for the Sierra Leone Bar Association, Madam Tuma Adama Kamara ESQ, talk about the role where them as lawyer go play for ensure see they monitor the Auditor-General and in deputy, then tribunal recommendation.
That tribunal only applicable to the Auditor-General. So I just wonder we take note of that, because as an association, we are the legal conscience of the nation. And among anything, what would they do? We call mandates now for safeguard the human rights. This thing take close to about 2.5 years. Is it that if the board, and not they say if I don't be so, but is it that if the board for don't investigate the deputy, if this investigation for don't happen and done and in verdict given by the board, and if they remove and then find out one thing, they remove out, they not find out one thing, then left them. Again, we go left down there to the tribunal and to the lawyers, then maybe they represent the Deputy Auditor-General. Because I believe that could have been a preliminary objection or something they could have raised to say the deputy subjected to this tribunal by law are the left arm open.
Tuma Adama Gentle Kamara end up say the Bar Association go monitor the tribunal recommendations for ensure transparency and fair judgments. For Liberty Online TV, Mina Mohamed Kamara, the reports.